The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
The aroma of Belgian chocolates mixes with the smell of engine exhaust as this afternoon, Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps plays host to Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. It's the 10th round of 12 on the Season 6 calendar, and all the action from both the initial 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Guten Nachmittag and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our World's Eye view is yours truly, Bill Soups On, along with Sean Crackers Ambrose. Down in the production van, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman. And the cameras at his disposal have been located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Now, as cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the double-header Formula Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Now, Sean, Kerry Nolden earned a win here way back in Season 1. Christian Koch saw the checkered flag first in Season 2. Then after taking a couple seasons off, the series returned last season when Gunnar Nienhaus got the feature win, and Michael Missner followed up with the sprint race victory. This place is indeed a popular track. So for any viewers who have had the misfortune of living under a rock for some extended period of time, why don't you talk about Spa?
Yes, sir, Spa. Yes, it joins the places or people in the world known by one name, Spa. Of course, you could say Prince, Madonna, Snoopy. But no, today we're here at Spa. Designed in 1920 and laid out on public roads, the original course had 25 turns. It was 14.9 kilometers long, but after World War II, the track was shortened just a little bit, but remained the fastest road circuit in Europe and had a nasty reputation for being dangerous. In 1981, safety concerns forced the track to shorten it down just a little bit, cutting out about 7 kilometers out of the old layout. But the modern layout we're racing on today has been around since about 2007. It's 7 kilometers with 20 turns. But the best way to get an idea what this place is really like is to jump on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0. Take a lap.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Spa. Coming down to La Source, this is likely to be a good overtaking spot. Watch out for the over-under though, because a corner this sharp really lends itself to overshooting the turn and compromising your exit. As you head down the hill past the old pits, bring the car off the right to set up for Eau Rouge. Even in these high downforce cars, you'll want to get single file because going too wide will slow both of you down tremendously. Straighten it out as much as you can to help carry your momentum over the top of the hill, and then from here, it's a drafting game all the way to Lacombe. Expect anyone relatively close to you to be able to suck up and probably slingshot past down the Kemmel Straight. It'll make your battles a lot more strategic and track position not nearly as important. Also, you can outbrake your opponents into Lacombe, so the fight isn't over once you reach the chicane. You can even defend from the outside if you're wily. From there, hold to the left to get a better run through Malmedy. The short blaster Ravage also opens itself up to surprise attacks. Just be wary into the downhill braking into this 180-degree bend. It's easy to understeer wide all through the corner. Switch sides quick and self the car for no-name corner. Just a little lift will get you through, and then we head downhill towards Pouan. The entry to this double apexer is very quick, which makes it tough to be accurate. Thankfully, the paved runoff on the outside means you'll have an easier time recovering if you go a bit wide. Keep your foot in it on the second half, get back to the left, and spot your brake marker for Fagnes. It's a medium-speed chicane, so passing opportunities are few unless you get a huge run on the car ahead. Stay tucked to the right on the first half, and then let her fly around the second apex. The straight to Stavelo is a short one, so get back to the racing line quick. The first bend is the slower one, and honestly pretty critical to your lap time since you won't need the lift at the second bend. The long backstretch will certainly punish anyone who hesitates to get to the power, leaving the cars behind ample opportunity to breeze by. Just like the Kemmel Straight, strategic draft battles tend to erupt on the lower portion of the circuit. The run through Blanchiment is much easier in the Renault than you'd find in GT cars, and you'll stay flat-footed easily. Coming out of the corner, watch out for attack coming down to the bus stop. This is another spot where passes are popular, but this chicane can also create havoc occasionally. Tuck it into the apexes, but keep it off the giant sausage curbs because they send the car all out of whack. Make sure you nail the exit to keep yourself safe from lunges into La Source, and as you cross the line, you've now finished a lap around Spa.
I'm Jed Yaman on the wheel, Joe Peak on the mic, taking us around Spa. Now, be advised, the lap guide that you just saw reflected the Grand Prix layout. Today's classic layout's a little different. It has the starting grid, pit entrance, and the finish line past corner 1 La Source, which really for today, La Source is really for the purposes of what we're doing here, will actually be the last corner. So I'm going to still call it corner 1 because that's how I know it. We'll just call it La Source, so we don't have to worry about numbering it. Hey, let's go ahead and quickly talk about what happened last round at the Nürburgring, where 26 drivers took the grid for round 9, with Peter Berryman putting himself, his car, and his 8,000 plus I rating on the pole. But Manuel Hoyer beat Berryman out of the first corner, leading the first 4 laps. The pole sitter continued to struggle early, dropping yet another position on the second lap to Kerry Nolden, but Berryman righted the ship, and by lap 5 he had moved around Nolden and Hoyer, and from that point on it was good night nurse as the Apex Racing UK driver went on to earn his second win of the season by a robust 22 seconds, posting his fastest lap under the white flag. Now, a combination of attrition and racecraft allowed Michael the Oven Mittner to charge from 9th and finish in 2nd, 4 seconds ahead of Kerry Nolden, who came home in 3rd. 20 drivers finished on the lead lap, which meant when these drivers were inverted for the sprint race, rookie Tobias Furman was on the pole. Now, because Jean-Francois Godot suffered early front wing damage in the feature race and he needed to pit an extra time, that means that his 19th place result planted the French-Canadian on the outside of row 1. Godot took the lead immediately, going wire to wire, recording his second win of the season, both in sprint heats. Berryman charged from 20th to take second place, but that charge did include an incident with Phil Reed when the 2 drivers were fighting for second place late in the race. Berryman came out the best of it, getting second. Phil Reed not so lucky as he finished well out of the points. Scott Newton posted his best result of the season as the Red Devil racer went from 4th to 3rd. And for the pole sitter, Tobias Furman, well, it was 21st. That's the best he could do. So, who was the big points winner from Germany? Let's go ahead and show you that right now. It was in Australia. He posted the highest event result of the season. In Germany, Peter Don't Pay the Berryman did indeed get to the other side, once again collecting a matching fare of 52 points. A 2nd and a 7th was worth 38 points for Michael Mittner, 36 points to Kerry Nolden for his 3rd and 6th. And 6th and 5th meant Christoph Holstein picked up 31 markers and 2 drivers were tied for 5th place. So how does all that affect the point standings? Let's go ahead and look at those now, and keep in mind that these standings reflect the 2 dropped events that the rules allow for. Christian Koch of Vector Sim Sports and Vector Evo Sonics, Jean-Francois Godot hold station, but the important number is 0. Look at those yellow pocket points for each of the top 2 drivers. Those zeros mean there is no insurance for a bad result, and because of that, this championship is far from over. Everywhere else, it's Christmas time as the overlay is festooned with green and red arrows. Mega Drive's Phil Reed and Oscar Mangan of Infinity swapped places, with the 2nd Vector Racing driver Michael Mittner moving up 2 spots into 5th. The big mover on the right side of the chart was Kerry Nolden of Mega Drive, up 4 spots, now into 10th. And then Nolden's success will carry over to the team results as he and his teammate Phil Reed push Mega Drive back up into 2nd. but only a point back is Infinity Sim Sports, powered by Oscar Magden and Josh Thompson. Daniel Morris and Christian DeCatch move Red Devil Racing to the left side behind Formula Mini, manned by Andrew Tierney and Christoph Holstein. But all this is under Vector Sim Sports, as the Austrian duo of Christian Koch and Michael Mittner have their team out in front by a comfortable 114 points. So with that said, keep in mind that Formula Renault always attracts new viewers. So for those tuning in for the first time, let's show the series details, and my booth partner here, Sean Crackers Ambrose, will walk us through it.
Hey, Soup. Yes, sir. I'm here, buddy. Season 6, and boy, it's winding down quick. 3 rounds left here in round 10. 2 drop events allowed, 2 races per event. So we will see this feature race today and then followed by a sprint race. Don't step away. Setups for the car, the Formula Renault 2.0, it's up to the drivers. It's not the iRacing fixed up. The fixed setup, they can play with this setup and certainly create as much downforce or as little downforce as they care to risk here at Spa. Now, no fast repairs means you better take care of this dainty little Formula Renault, because it will bend up, and if it does, boy, it'll leave you off pace here. And I think the last thing in the world you want to see here at Soup is being off pace.
And Sean, before we look at the next session, as our qualifying is a little bit longer than we expected, it's a 15-minute qualifying session today, so that gives a little more time in the countdown to green. Let's talk about the setup here. Boy, I have no idea what I would want, either high downforce or low downforce. It seems like with such long straights, you really couldn't afford to have the high downforce because you'd lose so much time, but there's such technical sections, I couldn't afford to have the low downforce. Well, what do you think you do?
Well, Soup, I went with a setup that was just over neutral, probably on the side of being a little more free, with a little bit less downforce. The Formula Renault, certainly notorious for being a high downforce car, as you would compare to like a GT3 car, certainly a much slower car. But one of the very, very exciting things about the Formula Renault is at Spa, you spend a lot of time flat out in 7th gear. The trip through Rédillon and Eau Rouge is flat out.
Wow.
Now, what it does take is very, very little wheel input. You're not going to have those hands moving a lot through there. You're riding right on the edge, but it is a flat out trip all the way down to Lacombe, where things slow down considerably. But even Lacombe is still a fourth gear down to 3rd, back up to 4th type of turn. So you're really on the throttle a lot here.
Do you think you'd go too wide, flat out through a Rouge and Rédillon? Pushing it?
You could try it. We may see a couple guys being so bold, but honestly, it's tricky enough getting through there flat out by yourself. I don't know if we'll see them go side by side.
Well, you know, Crackers, what makes Formula Renault event kind of special is the unique double feature format that they employ. So with a pair of races on the docket, let's take a look at the feature race that's up first.
Yes, sir. Now, this one is going to be 40 minutes long. We're right in the middle of this qualifying session right now. We'll get to that information here in a moment. They will start the grid based on their qualifying efforts today. Pit stops, well, we're going to have one, at least one. You need one to get the race done. It's a pretty wide window, but usually we see that happen around the midway point of the race, maybe even just past that. Incident cap today will be 16. You go over that, you will disappear for the track. There's certainly plenty of spots here where you can get yourself in trouble running off Soup and picking up a 1 or a 2X. So you're going to have to pay attention to that as a driver. Points are the standard points. They play all the way to 20th on the finish Soup.
Now let's go ahead and talk about the actual configuration here. I have done a ton of races on the Grand Prix configuration where that finish line is right after the bus stop, and there's actually enough time there where you can come out of the bus stop, have a drag race to the finish line. But today, if we happen to be lucky enough to have a close finish, that finish line's moved around one more corner, isn't it?
Soup, it is. And the interesting thing about where that last turn is there at La Source, boy, we're probably gonna see someone take a dive, if you will, for victory there. That is a very, very tricky hairpin, and you can do some strange things with the car there with a little bit of practice. So we'll see, Soup, but it'll be a mad dash down the hill. Another thing that you can do on the exit of Los Source is get off track and pick up incident points. If you're really on the edge there, that last lap, and you're trying to make a move on somebody, boy, that could be the spot where you disqualify. You don't want to be that guy.
Now, pit stops are always important in this series. And again, this layout has a different pit entries on the other side. So they're not going to spend so much time going down pit lane like they usually would, where you have to go all the way through after the bus stop, all the way around through what I like to call the fast food entry, where you have to do that little hairpin there and come back. But let's talk about pit stops and if the car gets damaged, Sean. So much of these races are determined by if they pick up some incident or some damage on the wings or the undercarriage out there. How friendly is Spa to these little French Renaults?
Okay, so Spa, not the worst track on your road course circuits for curbing. There are a couple of spots where you can get yourself into trouble. Certainly that's the source being one of them. Rivage, if you get too far off to the right, which that's not really where your line's going to be, you can certainly do some damage there. And another spot would probably be down somewhere in Fagny there. If you get over, coming out of Fagny down into 13, if you get over to the right and over the curb there, you can damage the under tray. And that is something you got to watch out for here at Spa, because that'll also slow you down. And again, I talked about this being a flat-out track. You're going to need every bit of a solid car here to get to victory lane.
Now, like Formula One, Formula Renault 2.0 Championship means a standing start. But unlike Formula One, no tire warmers, no warm-up lap. What's the weather like out there, and how's it going to play a factor in the opening?
It's actually 96 degrees on track. That's Fahrenheit, and that's pretty warm, Soup. It's going to be slick, and that could be an issue. Certainly, down to Lacombe, I don't think getting through Erouge and Rédillon will be that bad to get started, but when you get down to Lacombe, that's a bit of a bus stop itself. The right, back, left, to Malmedy, it's really, you're really going to struggle for grip through there, and you probably are going to see too wide. Guys will still be trying to get set up on track after they take that long trip down the Camel Straight.
A little give and take on the weather there. The tires may warm up a little faster, but that hot temperature may make the track a little slipperier.
Yeah, definitely. Now it's only 74 degrees outside. And it's a clear day, and not much wind, so that won't be a factor. But it will get a little bit greasy with 96 degrees.
Okay, now in Germany, we saw Phil Reed blink away after the contact that he had with Berryman that put Reed over the incident cap. What do you think about Spa? We do have an incident cap here. Can you steal a little bit? Is this kind of place where they can sneak up on you?
They can. Yes, there's several spots. I mean, Eau Rouge, Rédillon, very, very easy to pick up incidents there. Out of Rivage is another spot. The no-name turn 8, the left-hander, the exit out is very, very tricky if you're really nailing it on the throttle. Paul Friere, turn 14. That's another really, really big spot. And then, of course, when you're going full out on the exit of Blanchimont, if you're not careful, you can run over the curb there.
And, that's one of you can watch those incident caps and you think, I have plenty of room. The incident, what is it here? I think it's 16 is what it was. You get to 12, 13, you say, no problem. But then what happened to Reed was he was in that position, found himself, made some contact, picked up a 4X, and he blinked away into the twilight zone. Hey, we got some news in qualifying. It looks like, Nolden was not able to put in a clean lap.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. Picking up spots today, Soup, not going to be the easiest thing to do. Spa, of course, it has many spots where you can get around. The problem is once these cars to separate a little bit without a dance partner, it's really hard to catch up.
Well, we believe qualifying is done, and since we have a standing start, we kind of have to hustle through the field. So let's go to the grid right now. I think it's complete. And on the front row, Sean, it is the man with that big I rating. It's Peter Berryman. Look at that, Josh Thompson outside of row 1.
Yeah, nice effort there by Josh. Row 2, going to go to Michael Mittner and Christian Koch.
The man still in the hunt for the championship, Jean-Francois Gaudin and Christoph Holstein make up row 3.
Row 4, Manuel Hoyer and Scott Newton.
Eric Andre and Adam Tierney in 9th and 10th.
All right, 11th, going to go to Phil Reed and Evan Imre, going to start 12th today.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's the milkman, Andy Cowie, with the orange Viking Kmart himself, Knut Martinson, in 14th.
Row 8, Lawrence Derike and Saradov.
17th and 18th spots will be filled by Lee Robinson and Daniel Morris.
Row 10, Ty McLeod and Chris Burgess rounds out your top 20.
Hidden Blackjack, it's Urka Lindstrom in the double duck spot, Darren the Magic Wand Potter.
Row 12, Silvio Hurt and Daniel Barrero.
Little Stevie Chambers in the 25th position and the last car to put in a qualifying time. And then we talked about it. He's fast, but he wasn't able to get in a good qualifying time. He's back in 26. Kerry Nolden.
And row 14, the last and final row today, Patrick Kessler and Jeroen de Cortel. Soup, it feels like everybody's come home and is ready to race at Spa.
28 drivers on the entry list. I believe all 28 will find the grid. And there it is in the unusual starting position. Over there, actually, that's where we start a lot of these races here at Spa. We usually don't start on the other side heading down into La Source. That would be a really tough beginning to a race. But right now, we are working round number 10 of 12. This one and 2 more after this. There is a point championship going on. Christian Koch and Jean-Francois Godin still in the hunt, and they sit in 4th and 5th right now. You don't have to make it all up in one shot, but you want to make sure that you have a good finish. And actually, we're waiting for the French-Canadian to take the grid, and Godin gets out there right now. So I believe that's it. As the drivers start to get their engine set up, they keep one foot on the gas, one foot on the brake, and the other foot on the clutch. Gather up the chicken. We maybe have a false start. I saw smoke from somebody. It was early. I'll go back. It was somebody up front. But right now, Peter Berryman is ahead of Mittner, Thompson, Koch, and Godin in 5th. They go side by side behind. Andre gets the best of Holstein. Now round out your top 10. Hoyer, Newton, and a 2-car battle back there with Phil Reed side by side with Adam Tierney.
Watching the back of the field come down the Kemmel Straight. Everybody coming to Lacombe.
But up front, it is 3 wide into Lacombe. They get that sorted out. Who's going to be the best of it? It looks like it is Mittner. Now fighting back is Berryman. Mittner had a taste of the lead. He sniffed it. But like the smell of Belgian chocolates, it's lofted away. And now he's stuck in 2nd. Thompson behind him in 3rd. That is Godin on the... Now gets the pass made on Andre. Godin in 5th. Look at that. You can see the dip. That's the red card. Looking to the inside again was Enric Andre. Not going to happen. The blue car makes a move. That is Holstein. Gets inside of Phil Reed, who falls back to 10th. Sean, how's it look in the back, okay?
It's amazing, Soup. Everybody throughout the field here off to a pretty clean start so far. Lots of good battles. Not many positions picked up yet. One big mover, Kerry Nolden, already up 6 spots to 20th.
You would think that as his qualifying position or lack of being able to put in a qualifying time, put him back there, he'll certainly be fast. You look at Nolden right there. Up front, it's our leader. Now, he's not been able to pull away as Berryman works through Blanchimont now as they head down into the bus stop for the first time. Look at Mittner. He maybe has a little bit of a run. Is he going to force the issue on the very first lap? Now... Berryman moves back over to the preferred entry into the bus stop. He does the right-hander, he does the left-hander. The first lap is not complete yet. Right there would be the finish line normally, but now we still have to go all the way around La Source. It's corner number 1. Today it's the last corner. They get in there, they tightly get to the wall, then the big runoff area around there. Give the first lap lead to Peter Berryman, Mittner in 2nd, Thompson, as they begin to distance themselves away from Koch and Andre.
Manuel Hoyer spins in La Source, Soup. We've got it on the replay. I think everybody got around. There may not have been any contact.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he had a little bit of help there. Wow. I think he did, and Hoyer going to go into the pit after that, Soup.
The help came from, I think, the blue car of Christoph Holstein. And then Sarah Dove got center punched as she was checking up. She kept going. That was the blue car of Holstein as they were fighting for position into La Source the first time. Keep that in mind when we get to the end of the race. That's something we look up front. Oh my goodness, this is Mittner. The light blue car trying to make the move on the inside is Josh Thompson. Couldn't get it done, but now he fights back. He has a great run now as they head down in through Puhan. Not going to happen. They have to back out. Now they go through 10, the no-name corner. They have to be careful, Sean, about fighting too much up there and losing touch with Berriman right now. Pretty good job of hanging with that fast guy.
Cars, it just got worse for Sarah Dove. Jeroen de Cortel spins.
Right in front of her.
Oh, man. She was just trying to get back to the pit with a damaged car.
Picks up Dove and Chris Burgess. Were second and third to the scene. They get them both. Burgess in the yellow car. Dove there first.
Trouble in the Puhan. That is certainly a place you may see it today.
We got to go up front. I think he's actually going to make a run this time. This is Mittner looking. Oh, he's just teasing me right now as they work down into the bus stop. Let's look at that qualifying time from Berriman. 2:15.8. Go ahead, Sean.
Scott Newton spins from 5th, Sue. In the bus stop. Everybody getting by. Man, he is dropping like a rock through the field.
Right in front of Godin. That's Godin getting around. Godin moves up to 4th now. The problem with that now, I think Godin has lost contact. Well, no, he's back. He's got a shot at Koch there. He's still in the hunt. Berriman, Mittner, Thompson, Koch. Godin really going to have to struggle. In fact, Godin in a challenge. Let's go to 5th position right now. This is Godin side by side with Enric Andre. Godin's going to have the preferred position into Lacombe, and Andre on the outside makes it work. Now they swing back left through Malmedy. They continue side by side. How long can they keep this up? They head down into the Revenge. This is a 180-degree right-hander, and it looks like Andre's going to be able to close the door before they get there. Move Andre up into 5th. Godin back to 6th as he drops one more position back for the man he's trying to catch in the points, Christian Koch.
Soup, the fight for 12th place is amazing. Evan Imre holding off right now. Lee Robinson, Knut Martinson, Kerry Nolden, and Ty McLeod. Daniel Morris also in that mix. Here comes Urka Lindstrom. This pack is mad.
Nolden just got around Martinson in the blue car, Martinson in the yellow and blue car. Nolden up to 14th. Oh, and now spinning is Lee Robinson right in front of him. That forces Nolden off into the lawn. He gathers it up.
Look at that.
Does a nice job of mowing it. Falls back to 18th, loses a spot to Lindstrom and Morris. Sean, sometimes you can really see a driver's talent is when they're off doing something they shouldn't be. And that was a great catch.
Yeah, it really was a great catch by Kerry Nolden, but now we've got a battle for the lead, too.
And this time I think it's legit, but no, one more time down to the bus stop. You know, a guy who's had enough of this nonsense is Josh Thompson. He says, Michael, if you're not going to make the pass on that guy, I'm going to do it. Oh, Godin is that trouble. He spun right in front, oh my goodness, right in front of Enric Andre. When we can come back to look at that in a minute, Andre had to really get on the binders. It's bookmarked. We'll come back and get it. We'll stay on the battle up front. Berriman being challenged by Mittner. Thompson in the hunt. Koch wants some of that too.
Lee Robinson had a hard shunt into the bus stop, Soup. Tough break for him.
We're going to stay on this battle up front because it is something else right now as they are 3 wide coming down into Lacombe in the Steeler wheel position. Dipping out in front. It's Michael Mittner gets it from the middle. Thompson now in a battle with Berriman. Berriman loose, gets that back. Thompson trying to fight back in the light blue machine. He gets a good run. He's going to have a great entry into Revenge. He's going to be in the preferred spot. He gets it. Can he hold it, though? Doing the dipsy-do, the hucklebuck, the up and under is Berriman. They continue to battle for second. Enjoying the show. Popcorn in one hand, Coke in the other is Coke.
Soup, it's absolutely crazy. It's full tilt out here right now. Battles all over the place again. And what's going on back here, back in 12th and 13th place, is just... it's something to really watch, and it's a shame we can't focus on it with the battles going on up front. Enric Andre and Adam Tierney are having a big battle.
Okay, we're going to go back to that replay because this is important. This has ramifications in the point standings. This is Jean-Francois Godin, the French-Canadian. He spun. Look at this, and the car behind him, I forget who it is, locks it up and does a great job of knocking him. Watch this. There's Godin out in front. The car gets loose. Wow.
And on track, Soup Berryman just gets by Josh Thompson. That's a pass for second. Into the bus stop.
Yeah, now from up in front and first, Michael Mittner yelling back at those three guys, fight it out amongst you guys. As he tries to get a little bit of a run. He can't be happy right now to see Berryman is back out leading that train because he's going to be fast. There is a 4-second, pretty much a 4-second interval from Koch back to Phil Reed in 5th. We ride on board with Berryman, looking back at Josh Thompson. Thompson new to the series, as is Berryman. But Berryman came in with a little more reputation preceding him. Josh Thompson has been very impressive. Right now up there racing with the big boy.
Yes, sir. Man, those two are really going at it right now. Thompson with a really good run on him. He can't attack from there, though. No, going to let Berryman have it. And look who slipped in here. Here comes Koch.
Just to give you an idea about I ratings, some people put more weight in them than others. I tend to think that they're pretty accurate of how you are. Koch, 5,000. Thompson, 4,300. Mittner, 4,800. Peter Berryman, 8,002. With those 2 points, he'll be very upset if he loses those 2 points. 7,999, not nearly as impressive as 8,002. I think we take a second. Let's drop back to 5th. We haven't talked about this much. This is Phil Reed. Since Godin spun out of the way, Reed has inherited 5th. He's being challenged by Christoph Holstein in that beautiful blue machine back there. Reed, of course, racing for Mega Drive. Formerly Apex Racing, who won the championship last year. Doesn't look like Mega Drive's going to be able to come in and get that championship. Christoph Holstein for Formula Mini.
Well, Soup, for our Sarah Duff fans, she is back on track. Right now, the last car, 24th on the lead lap.
Well, on the lead lap, that is the key phrase there that you just said in that one.
Got about 13 and a half laps. See if she can hold them off.
Okay, we have found that the jumping the start was Hoyer. Manuel Hoyer has had some horrific first lap experiences, and this is another one for him. And I got to admit, part of me, I have mixed emotions. Part of me is sad for him, but part of me feels good about myself, that because I make that stupid mistake, and it's nice to see somebody with more talent than me do that as well.
Boy, Soup, I'm right there with you. I love how great people always bring out the insecurities and us less fortunate. You know what I mean?
It really talks about the kind of how shallow we are that we can.
Phil Reed coming up. Phil Reed.
Yeah, look at this.
Getting past here. Holstein got a really great run there out of Ready On.
So the Formula Mini driver moves around the Mega Drive driver as they go 5th and 6th now. Holstein ahead of Reed. Up front, little by little, those three cars of Berryman, Thompson, and Koch have ran down Mittner. It's about 0.6 of a second now. It won't be long till Berryman gets him there. I think Josh Thompson and Christian Koch happy to just ride back there and let Berryman take him around. It is about 5 seconds from Koch back to that Reed and Holstein battle that we were looking at. Now let's check back in on Jean-Francois Godin in 9th. He was running as far up as 5th, trying to keep touch with Christian Koch, who he's chasing in the points. He's falling back to 9th, and the Milkman trying to get to him right now. Andy Cowie. Godin about 11 seconds off the lead. Go ahead.
Soup, and I think we're starting to see what may be some early pit stops from some drivers towards the back of the field. Stevie Chambers, Daniel Barrero, both coming in.
Good to see Stevie back. As we look at this battle look at this. This is 8th right now. That's the blue car at Tierney. Oh, Adam lost it. Adam lost it.
Yeah, I don't think there was any contact, Soup, but it looks like maybe just a little bit hard on the throttle off the top of that curve there on exit. And oh boy, that'll do it.
Yeah, Andre was very close to him, but he didn't get to him. The car went around when he started to put the gas down. Battle for the lead up front. And it is Berriman actually made the pass. Did that coming out of Radion. Got a good run.
That's the second. I'm sorry, Soup. Second time, second lap. We've seen it.
Yeah. We're going to look at it. It's pretty simple pass here. He just gets a good run. We ride on board with Peter. Full throttle through here, Sean says. I'll believe him. But look at this. Gobbled him up.
Soup, if you're not full throttle through there, you're losing time. Simple.
So Berriman fell back as far as 3rd, has worked his way back up into the lead again. Mittner, though, able to hang on. Josh Thompson now has to be careful. He's about over a half second back. About 7 or 8 car lengths. Got to be careful that he doesn't lose touch with the front two. Koch able to hang in there. We talked about Reed and Holstein. Let's look at 5th again, because I think, look at my notes, I thought Holstein got around Reed. It looks like Reed has got him back now. Reed has eclipsed Holstein as Reed is back into 5th.
Yeah, Soup, and it was that I picked that up. That was a move by Phil coming out of Ready On.
Yeah, let's stay on it, because I think Holstein might want to get this done coming down into the bus stop. No. But now let's drop back 2 positions here. Let's look at Godin as they go into the bus stop with Andre behind him. That's a battle for 7th.
Yeah, Andre, who just got around Andy Cowie, actually.
Right. And now with Adam Tierney's mistake, that's going to move Lawrence Sudden Strike to Reich up into 10th. So welcome to the top 10. Leaders work their way, as we look there at Reich. Leaders work their way now down the long straight. Let's go up front. He's got a good run, and I'm talking about Mittner. The defensive line there from Berriman until he brings it over at the very end. Through 4, through 5, through 6. Then a squirt of the gas down into the wash. Around this corner, you gotta wait, then you get back on the throttle. Left-hander, you go out on the green AstroTurf. Now it's down the hill.
Soup, someone needs to tell the top 10 winter is coming. A storm is brewing back here because Kerry Nolden leads a group of drivers, the three drivers right now who are really, really on it. Seems to have found their form. Of course, Kerry Nolden, well, it's been documented. We talked about the bad qualifying effort. Well, now he's up to 11th. And he brings Evan Imre and Todd McLeod with him. Lawrence Sudden Strike to Reich is right ahead of him, Soup, and they are closing.
Yeah. Sudden Strike may need a Valerian sword there to hold off right now, as Nolden is on a roll. Let's go up front. I'm really getting annoyed now at Michael Mittner as he's looking at him through the bus stop but can't get it done. I know Michael's going to watch this back on the replay, say, Soup, I'm trying. Now they head down into La Source. Again, Mittner peeking in there. And what Mittner's pestering of Berriman has allowed to happen as Thompson is right in the mix. As the front three have now distanced themselves, and Christian Koch not able to hang on as he falls back in fourth. Top 19 drivers yet to pit. The leader of all the cars who come into pit is Manuel Hoyer, and that's a little iffy. I'm not sure. That's probably that pit stop was to serve his penalty for jumping the start.
Soup, another move being made here. Watch out, Jean-Francois Gaudin is being overtaken here by Eric Andre.
We're looking at this one as we keeps us on board, looking at that lead battle again.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. It's once again Mittner fails to do it. The only thing that is saving Mittner, in my opinion, is he's making sincere efforts here. He's not just playing around. I think he really does want to get that lead. So with apologies to the rest of the field, we'll stay on this. We're looking there at there's Andre and Gaudin in that battle for 8th. Actually for 7th. I'm multitasking right now. One eye on the lead battle, one eye on this battle in 7th. We can stay there. I'll give a yell if the oven mitt tries to make a move on the Berryman. Gaudin had that spin. He's trying to capitalize. He needs every point he can. Right now he is 3 spots behind the man he's trying to chase in the points, Christian Koch. Let's go back to the lead again because the defensive line from the Berryman down into the bus stop. Mittner pulls to the outside, not going to do it there. Is he going to try to make a move out of here? He's just behind him. He gets his nose right into the gearbox of Berryman. Has a bad exit out of the bus stop. Thompson had thoughts of maybe making a move, but Josh happy to sit there in 3rd. Let's stay around with him here as we ride on board with the rookie, looking ahead at the 2 drivers in front of him. Berryman from the UK, Mittner from Austria. And if memory serves, Josh Thompson also a UK driver.
That is correct, Sue.
They are equally spaced as they work their way into a comb.
To think that you could be that far away from the car in front of you when you're all traveling, let's face it, at just about the same speed there, Sue. Now we're seeing a few pit stops here. Andy Cowie, Adam Tierney, Daniel Morris all electing to come into the pit now. 9 laps in, basically the halfway point, Sue.
And now you can see the exit as they come off in the traditional spot that we're used to seeing. Cowie. Now we're looking at Tierney there. Adam had that spin. He was running up a lot higher. Cowie's going to cycle out in 14th, the leader of all the cars who've made their stops. Evan Hemry actually behind him now. In 15th, Tierney in 16th. They are spread out by quite a distance between them. Up front, they race in the same order as before. Berryman, Mittner, and Thompson, with Mittner keep poking and prodding, looking in there. Half trying to make the pass, half trying to force Berryman into a mistake. Once again, you look at Mittner weaving back and forth to the left, to the right, trying to find any way around. He's closer than he has been before. Again, the defensive line from Berryman, then he eases it over. Once again, Mittner brings it right close in behind, can't get anything done. Those 3 continue to battle, and honestly, any one of those guys could get the win. Let's go back to 5th position, because they've swapped one more time.
Yeah.
Holstein in front of Reed.
Yeah, so I will say this. It's been very, very well behaved here so far, though.
Yeah.
Very well behaved. Very nice passes, very clean passes. Not much attrition here today. You know, just behind them, Jean-Francois Gaudin and Eric Andre, they're both still having a very, very good battle, but Eric has not looked very, very eager to, just get around and battle for P2.
Thompson on the outside as they go down. I think he's going to be able to close the door. He does. Slams the gates like Queen Elsa on her coronation as he moves up into second, dropping Michael Mittner back to third. Oh, now, I don't know if Mittner's going to be happy about this because I think Mittner was quite confident that he had the pace to stay on the back of Berryman. I wonder if he thinks that Thompson is going to be able to do that. This is a tall order for the rookie.
Well, Thompson was boogieing on that one. That was the fastest lap of the race, Soup.
Look at that. DeRike is in and out, but unfortunately for Sudden Strike, he had a long stop in there for 19 seconds in the box compared to 5 seconds for Cowie. So Sudden Strike is going to fall out of the top 10 easily. Cowie, Andy, still the leader of all the cars who pitted. There we look at Cowie. I think we got to go up front, not because of the battle, but because what I feared is happening has beginning to happen. And that is Berryman now is beginning to make a move. In fact, Mittner says, I can't afford to stay back here, Josh. I got to get around you. Tell you what, let me by, and I'll see if we can bring both of us up to Berryman. But if you sit me back here in third, I think we're going to lose contact with them. They go side by side down into the bus stop. You know what? I think Thompson lifted. He was on the preferred position. He could have forced the issue there, but he got off of it.
I think you're absolutely right, Soup. He could have, and he didn't. And you know what? Right now, Mittner's got to be really careful. The pressure is on. Mittner out of the bus stop there was not, let's say it was not his best exit.
No.
Car got really, really wicked. He reels it back in.
Interval about 9/10 of a second to the leader. Now, let's stay on this a minute. Let's see if he's close enough. Boy, he's a long way back. I can't imagine the draft goes all that far back from there. What do you think, Sean? Do you think Mittner is in the tow? Probably not.
Oh, he's close, Soup. Yeah, no, I think he's
you know what?
Just on the edge of it. But by the time they get down to the end, no, he's not. He's not going to be in position to make a pass.
Well, picking up a couple car lengths is Thompson, who does the leapfrog around him going into Lacombe. Now, if the blue car, the light blue car at Thompson, could be relatively quick through 4, 5, and 6 down into Revenge, they might be able to team up and catch Berryman.
Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. Certainly, if you can get a little bit of help, you will be faster. Those two are going to have to continue to work together, maybe be a little bit patient with each other, make sure they stay in line and keep riding, in this draft like they're doing. But again, the laps have got to be flawless because right now Berryman is a whole half second faster than they are, Sue.
Yeah, the interval now it was 9/10 of a second is now just under a second, but they'll make up time if they can go through 13. Once they come out of Paul Friere here, 14, then they get that run. They'll get in the draft. They might be able to gain them. They might be able to pick up some time. Let's stay on this a minute. Interval just at 9/10 of a second. Now this is where Thompson can go full throttle and he can suck Mittner around behind him, and then Mittner can slingshot by if Thompson will let him do it. And I think they're playing the same game here. It all depends if Thompson challenges him into the ball. Oh, he doesn't. So they are fighting a little bit, and the interval goes down. It's down to about 9/10 of a second still. Cowie, still the leader of all the cars who have pitted. The top 12 yet to come in. Includes big names like Jean-Francois Gaudin and Enric Andre. Kerry Nolan, Sean, has worked his way up now. It's a little misleading, up to 9th.
More pit stops.
Here they come. The leaders are in. Berryman and Thompson. Now, I made a fool of myself last time saying that Berryman was new to the series, maybe not good at pit stops, as if a driver with Hicks experience wouldn't know how to come in and out and do this right. He's right now, he's in there. This is where the randomness of iRacing can play a factor, though. Oh, Berryman is out first. Oh, my goodness. Crushed is Thompson. Berryman's lead, which was 1 second before pit stops, is now 3 seconds after pit stops.
Soup Nolden in, Kessler in, Ty McLeod in.
Josh Thompson saying, seriously? I think referring to how fast Berriman's pit stop was. Either that or complaining that his pit crew maybe overindulged in some...
Maybe having ice cream?
Or maybe an adult beverage.
Yeah.
Looking at this battle for P5 right now. This is Holstein ahead of Reed. For the time being, they have swapped positions probably, not going to exaggerate, 4 or 5 times this race. Love this roadkill cam right here.
Jean-Francois Godin has had good pace. Not been enough to really advance him through the field. Is right where he started now in 5th. But Eric Andre has been steadily moving.
Look there at Andre racing with Godin. The competition is so stiff. Godin made that one mistake, and it's so hard to come back from that. If it costs you 7, 8, 9 seconds on the track, boy, that's hard to make up. Keeping an eye on Michael Mittner right now, our leader, as he works his way through the source. I would expect a pit stop coming. Nope, he's going to go one more time. Nope, he's coming in. Coming in, he fooled me. All right, so this is important. Now, dropping in right behind him, this is Christian Koch. So Mittner and Koch come in.
And here come the rest. Holstein, Philly Reed, Jean-Francois Godin, and Eric Andre. That's it, Sue.
So even though we're in Belgium right now, it's all Austria in the pits right now. Mittner is out. Now, where is Berriman?
Right here. Right on his left,
He's coming full song. He gets him.
Oh,
Berriman gets him.
By a bunch. Now, Mittner was definitely digging, but, man, you can only dig so hard.
Here comes Thompson. Thompson is able to get around Koch. Not going to get Mittner. So, basically, they go in the same order that they were racing before they stopped. Berriman, Mittner, Thompson, and Koch. The interval from Berriman to Mittner is, well, my timing scoring won't update me here. Oh, there it is on the screen. About just under a second. Nope.
3 seconds.
3 seconds is what I'm getting. Okay, 3 seconds from Berriman to Mittner. That's a chunk of time.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it was a very, very smooth, clean pit stop there. Berriman, that was the difference, Sue.
So, Andy Cowie was having a great race. Go ahead, Sean.
I found it. Yeah, I found it. Poor Andy's got trouble coming, out of turn, where was he at? Out of turn 5.
Right in front of Eric Andre.
Yeah, into Lacombe right here. Everything is okay so far. They'll get out of Lacombe, but right here it all goes bad. A little bit too much of the curve on the inside sends him around. Hard shunt to that inside tire barrier. Takes the front end off. Cowie in the pit and out of the race.
Yep, said he had some front range damage. Very costly, because not only does that put him out of the points, but he won't even benefit from the re-grid. Right now it looks like 23 drivers, if I take Cowie out of the mix and run it on the lead lap. Our man to go wire to wire, perhaps, Manuel Hoyer. Qualified 7th, but remember he had that jumping the start penalty. So he'll be able to take a little bit of the salt out of the wound, if that is actually possible to do. He'll get a pole position in the sprint race if he can stay on the lead lap. I'm thinking maybe
with lots of water and suction. So. I didn't just say that. I'm sorry.
But Hoyer is not that far ahead of the leaders right now. Probably far enough ahead. Yeah, it's so hard to judge with Peter Berriman what is a safe interval to have if you're trying to stay in front of him, because he is incredibly fast.
Well, Soup, 2 guys that are certainly having fun with it still. Daniel Morris, we were just looking there on the screen, and Lawrence de Rijk. This is a battle right now for 16th place, and Lawrence de Rijk, up to 16th. Gets around Daniel Morris right there before Lasource.
Both those guys qualified mid-pack. Sarah Dove making a second stop. Remember, she had to come in for that first one when she got damaged. Will she be able to stay on the lead lap? Probably not.
Well, no, actually, Soup, I think she might. She's going to have to get moving here quick. She's under power. Picked up Peter Berryman. Berryman right now coming to Paul Freire.
Oh, I think she's got a good chance then, yeah.
Yeah.
Sylvia Hurt goes by. She looks like she's going to file out in about 19th position ahead of Stevie Chambers. Yeah, sure.
This track's almost 4.5 miles. You really gotta mess it up to lose the back of the field. We're gonna have a big grid fighting for positions here in the sprint race.
Manuel Hoyer, I'm showing as the last car on the lead lap in 23rd. He is 2 minutes and 14 seconds behind the leaders. Point with lap times of about. Now we get a better time. Okay, I think there was a little bit of a miscue. 1:59 is his interval, so he's got about a 15 second.
Well, he's going to have to get busy because here comes Peter Berryman down to the source now. And Soup, Peter Berryman still got 3 laps here to get that spot from Manuel Hoyer.
Berryman out in front. Mittner in second. These have all settled down a little bit, although Thompson has run down Mittner. In fact, let's go to second. I believe Thompson has a run if he wants it. Moves to the outside. The light blue car of Thompson gets the pass made going into the home. Now they go through here and they get around. We'll drop back to 5th position. Oh, here it is again. We're going to catch one on screen this time. Reed and Holstein. Go ahead,
yeah, and Reed had a tremendous run coming down the hill across start-finish line. And there, at the top of at the top of Ready On, he gets the move and now gets in front of him into Lacombe. Holstein up to 6th. I'm sorry, Phil Reed up to 5th. Holstein back to 6th.
Reed and Holstein probably saying, what do we got to do to get a little bit of screen time here, boys? Well, to be honest, your battle has just been too friendly. Phil Reed not happy with what happened last round. He was very, very eloquent in his post-race interview of what he had to say about Peter Berryman.
Ooh, another battle here. Soup, another battle here for 14th. The Knut Martinson and Urka Lindstrom. And Urka's going to get it back. Knut had gone ahead and Urka gets it back.
Comes. Look at that Force Fissy driver, though, back there in 15th position. See if he can get around. Good run, though, from Lindstrom. Now they head down into the right-hander. That is 11. I like this section of the course. There's a good rhythm section here through 11, through 12.
Yeah, and in this car, Soup, you're in 4th gear through there. You could take that in 4th. It's, it's a lot of fun.
And then let's stay on here. Let's watch Martinson. He has a great run out of Paul Fier. Now he's going to get this done early, almost maybe too early. They are Cialis bathtubs as they go down through Blanchimont. And now the Force Fissy driver closes the deal, moving up into 14th. Lindstrom back into 15th. Those are points-paying positions. Back at P2 again. Side by side. We've seen this before. This time it's Thompson on the inside as they head down into Lacombe, and it looks like Mittner's going to get it done. Mittner back up into 2nd. These guys are about a second ahead of Koch. Oh, I thought Mittner was going to get loose there, but he's okay. Just working the wheel. 4 seconds behind Berryman. 4 seconds seems like a pretty big lead. You compare that to the 22-second win that he had last time out, and it seems rather small. Peter Berryman has raced 4 races now in the AOR Formula Renault Championship. He's won 3 of them, 3 in a row.
Yeah, not a bad run there, Soup.
And when I say races, I'm talking about the points leader for the day of the event. He's been big-time point scorer. he has wins in both the feature races that he's been in. Yet to do the back-to-back, the double. Sean, maybe here, huh?
Maybe. This might be the day. Man, I can't get off of the Urka Lidstrom and Knut Martinsen battle. Those two just switched spots again and then switched him back again. Knut Martinsen getting the better of it right now. He's in 14th. On board there with Urka. And like I said, it's been a back and forth proposition for them for about 3 laps now.
That is indeed one of the best battles going on. That one and the one for second between Thompson and Mittner. We'll jump back and forth on those. Everything else seems to be settling down. Reed and Holstein, of course, is always fun. And we believe now with the clock at 50 seconds and Berriman going across the start-finish line, that should bring out the white flag.
Wow, Soup, right now we're looking at 22 cars finishing on this lead lap. I'm sorry, 23 as long as Manuel Hoyer can hang on.
Here's the battle between, looking there again with Mittner.
Thompson.
He's Thompson buying the light blue car. Mittner coming around. Thompson fending it off. We're going to stay on this one because here comes Christian Koch into the party. Now he's decided it's time to play as well. We'll keep an eye on this. We'll watch our leader, but we have plenty of time. Now they sweep through the ravage. My goodness. Koch might be in the best position right now as they heading down into Puhan. The light blue car of Josh Thompson ahead of Mittner. Mittner and Koch teammates, both racing for Vector Sim Racing. That team is leading in the points. The two Austrian drivers back there working on the Englishman. He ducks inside. Mittner gets him. Went back. Did Manuel?
Yes.
Manuel Hoyer was in. He just looped it. Why is that important? We don't need to go there, but that is important. Not sure if he's going to be able to stay on the lead lap now. Meanwhile, the battle for second. Here comes Thompson back again. Look, they're punching a huge hole in the air for Koch. Koch could get there. There's just not enough pavement for him to drive on. There's room in the middle. They almost like suckered him in there as they head down into the bus stop. They're going to go 3 wide through the bus stop. This can't work. Thompson has the best exit out of there. No, Mittner gets the power down. I got to keep an eye on our leader. Our leader is just coming around Lacombe right now. Let's go ahead and give round number 10 feature race to Peter Berriman as he picks up the win. Let's go back to the battle for second. Mittner is first around La Source. Sorry, I said Lacombe before. It's La Source. Mittner around there. Thompson gets third, and Koch is going to have to settle for fourth.
Christoph Holstein looks like he's going to be able to hold off Jean-Francois Godin and take that fifth spot there for Holstein.
Reed had a spin. Godin gets 6. Remember, Reed was in that battle with Holstein.
Into the bus stop for Phil Reed. Let's pick it up on the replay. He's going to get into trouble here, Soup. He's going to get those brakes a little bit too hard. There he goes through Blanchimont. Everything clean there, and then it's the braking here that's going to destroy his race.
Oh, my goodness. If we get a second, we can go live. Let's go to 21st position, Daniel Barrero. This is a battle to see who starts on the pole, I believe. This is Barrero and, of course, Manuel Hoyer. Hoyer just had that spin. And I believe these guys are racing. They are racing,
oh,
yes.
It's position,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. This is for 21st.
I don't know if you want this one. This is not a points-paying position. Hoyer out there racing for pride. If Hoyer gets around him, he earns nothing but to start on second. Look at this. They are side. We'll stay on this now a little bit. Sean, do they have to actually finish to be on the lead lap? I guess they do. They actually have to get to the lap.
Absolutely. They have to finish the lap.
Careful, boys. Hoyer gets that position.
He disqualified. Barrero disqualified.
That is huge. Not only does he go into the Twilight Zone saying hi to Rod Serling, but he won't get to start up on the front row. Go ahead, John.
Soup, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I did say in the pre-races that, don't be the guy that digging for position at the end or fighting for a win that disqualifies at the last turn. He came up about 3 turns short there for Daniel Barrero. Man, what a tough break.
Well, Barrero's bad news is Stevie Chambers' good news, as Chambers now will get to start outside of row 1 as he celebrates by putting the car in the wall. Thanks. What an idiot. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but he's a nincompoop. Manuel Hoyer will be our last car on the lead lap, so he will be starting
look what team he drives for. Really, that says it all.
Hey, Sean, I got a question for you. What's the best part of any race doubleheader?
The break in between, Soup.
That's right. You know why? Because it's that perfect blend of a post-race high and the pre-race jitters. What we're going to do right now on the Global Sim Racing channel is take our break, but we'll be back between the events to talk to some of the drivers, run down the complete finishing order, and then, of course, later on in this broadcast, we'll have the 25-minute sprint race. Don't go far. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Round 10 from Spa. And as we run down the finishing order, let's remind the drivers that the interview booth is open. So come on up and talk to us, and we'll see if we can get you in here during the break. Our winner today, he's won 3 features in a row. That is Peter Berryman. Michael Mittner and Josh Thompson were in a close battle for second. Mittner and getting the best of Thompson, both those drivers about 7 seconds behind the leader. Christian Koch watched that battle from 4th position. Christoph Holstein, who was in a battle with Phil Reed for most of the race, he gets 5th. Jean-Francois Godin was racing as high as 5th, had a spin, fought all the way back to get 6th. Phil Reed drops down to 7th position. Kerry Nolden started in 26th, did a yeoman's job getting all the way up to 8th. Enric Andre and Ty McLeod go 9th and 10th. Sean?
Yes, sir, Soup. And then you're going to go to 11th. Patrick Kessler with a solid run today. Evan Imre, 12th. Adam Tierney, 13th. Knut Martins and Urka Lindstrom. What a battle, 14th and 15th. Lawrence de Rijk, 16th. Daniel Morris, 17th. Silvio Hurt, 18th. Sarah Dove, 19th. And little Stevie Chambers going to be the last car, finishing 20th there on the lead lap.
You look at all the qualifying positions of the last handful of drivers that Sean named there, 21, 15, 18, 23rd, 16th, 25th. You get down to the man who was last on the lead lap. No points for him in the feature race, but with a 7th position in qualifying, starting in 21st, Manuel Hoyer. I got to like his chances to get this sprint race win. He was battling with Daniel Barrero there until Barrero blinked away in the double duck spot. The Magic Wand, Darren Potter in 23rd. 24th, Andy Cowie, who nosed it into the wall and had to end the feature race early. Lee Robinson, Scott Newton, Chris Burgess go 25th, 26th, and 27th. And then the last car, 16 laps down, not sure if he raced with us here, is Jeroen de Quartel. All right, Sean. Well, we've gone the way through it. I thought it was a pretty interesting feature race there. I think the turning point was when Thompson got around Mittner for second place, and then they lost touch with Berryman, and that was all she wrote.
Yeah, it really was, Soup. But listen, man, that race was all about speed. But what a tremendous amount of battles that we saw, from the very top of the pack through the mid pack into the back of the pack. Again, we watched that battle there between Hoyer and Barrero there on the last lap. It wasn't even a points paying position, but the spirit of the event was there. Those two were going at it, giving everything they had. And, Daniel, he knew he was on the limit and, pushes it and unfortunately gets the DQ because of it. But again, the battles throughout the field, Evan Imre and Adam Tierney and Knut Martins and Urka Lindstrom, the Phil Reed, Kerry Nolan battle, Holstein and Jean-Francois Godin. I mean, there were half a dozen battles. It was tough to keep up at times, but that is the nature of Spa. It's like I said, it's almost a 4.5 mile track. So there's something going on everywhere at some point at Spa.
Yeah, now when I watch a real-world broadcast or a sim race broadcast, I enjoy it when we're able to stay on a battle for a little bit through corner after corner after corner. You get a flavor for what's really going on. We'll try our best to do that, but Sean, to be honest with the way things are going to play out here with 21 cars being inverted, half the excitement, half the story is what's happening up front, but just as important is watching Berryman, Mittner, Thompson, Koch, Holstein all work their way through the field. So we'll be jumping around a lot here for the sprint race.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be what I like to call a head on a swivel type of event. We will be reacting feverishly to the action on track. It won't be a long one, Soup. Folks, we're going to, in just a moment here, we're going to step away for a brief break when we get ready to reset here for the sprint race. But don't miss us when we get that thing started. If you miss the opening of that race, you may miss the whole race.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Probably the field, they go through they're going to start on the other side of La Source. So what they'll have in front of them is Rouge and Radion. And you say that's probably with cold tires. What do you think? Is that an issue now through there?
Not so much, because you're still really trying to get up to full speed through there. So your first time through, you're already kind of being a little bit cautious. Now, once you get down to Lacombe, down the Kemmel Straight and into Lacombe, that's where you've really got to be careful, because there isn't enough heat in the tires after coming down the straight, and real easy to get off there into the beach.
They did a real good job of going, setting up and going, getting through Lacombe. I'm not sure this time if that's going to happen. There's going to be drivers looking to make up spots down there. I think we're going to look at 2 and 3 wide, people trying to take dive bombs in there. Cross your fingers that we're able to get through the 4, 5, 6 combination without a big melee. Okay, the session is up now, so the drivers are going to get into that. What we need to do on the Global Sim Racing channel is take a short break so we can get our ducks in a row. We'll be back real short to bring you the 25-minute sprint race that's coming up. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Round 10 from Spa. Okay, the feature race is in the books, but we are not done yet, as this, of course, is a doubleheader. So, Sean, why don't you tell us about the second part?
Yes, sir. The second and very, very important part of this event today, 25 minutes, sir. And the grid will be inverted. That's right, inverted from how? Well, the finish of this feature race we just saw. And, well, the leaders go to the back, and those at the end of the field, well, they'll be up front. Pit stops, you won't need one, not unless you get wrecked. And if you get wrecked, or you need to come in for any reason, let's face it, your race is pretty much over. No chance of winning there. Incident cap. Now, it's only 12 from the 16 in the feature, so maybe, just maybe, we won't see anybody DQ out. We'll see. Now, the points, they only pay the 16th, and about 2/3 the value of the full points that they get in the feature race. So,
Now they have a 6-minute, well, actually about a 10-minute warm-up that's going on right now that they're working on right now. About 6 minutes left in that. Of course, 3 minutes left. It's a 10-minute warm-up, and it's counting down. If I realize which way the clock is going, tells me how many minutes are left. I've got it figured out now. I've been doing this for a while. Thank you, Director. So with 3 minutes of practice going on, they're getting a feel for what's happening out there. Remember, Manuel Hoyer really sitting in the best position right now. He was the qualified 7th. And Sean, what happened to him was he jumped the start, so he had to take an extra pit stop, but I guess that all kind of works out.
Soup, you kind of had a Brent Musburger moment there, kind of yelling at the director. It was kind of funny. That's good. Soup, listen, as far as the racing goes, boy, this is such a big track. You know, we saw what happened in the feature race. You know, you get some distance between you and your opponents, and you get left out by yourself. It's really, really hard to make that up. If they spread out quick, which I don't know if they're going to really do, it could be tough for the winners to make their way up through this field. Boy, I don't. I do like the fact that Sarah Dove's going to get a chance to start up front. We'll see what she's got here. Spa, this track. Hey, listen, if you do this track right, you can keep the car up front. You just gotta be careful when those overtakes are trying to come down. You've just got to be really, really careful to not make contact. Sometimes giving a little bit to get a little bit more is a good idea here.
Yeah, I think the best news for her is the nonsense that I expect to see going on behind her. I expect her to be fast enough to probably be able to hold her spot down in there. And of course, I'm talking about the other guys that are down there with her too, and Hoyer being the big name of them. I just cannot think that those guys behind coming down into Lacombe, into 4, are not going to think, oh, there's opportunities here. I don't see any way of avoiding the big one down into corner 4. I hope I'm wrong, but it just seems like too many low-hanging pieces of fruit for guys to decide to wait a lap or two with only 25 minutes of racing.
Yeah, it's not a very long time to get it done here, Sue.
And in fact, I've done my fair share of race steward work in the MX5 World Tour. And one of the rules that actually was in there was if you end up making it 3 wide on the first lap because you're getting greedy and things go wrong, you end up with a penalty. I just can't believe that we're not going to try to see a parking lot of cars go through Lacombe, especially since you got all the fast guys and they're all being the tow heading down into 4, coming out of Radion. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a great spot for overtaking in the feature race. You said Radion. We need to keep our eyes on Radion. That is going to be a lot of fun watching them after that first lap. I'm sure we'll have a couple different packs of cars all trying to get that run at the completion of the first lap and win the battle down to Lacombe.
Emmanuel Hoyer sitting on the pole has to hope that the getting hit by lightning twice rule is in effect. You get hit by lightning. What are the chances of getting hit by it again? In fact, I had a house burned down, and after it burned down, I canceled my fire insurance because what are the chances that I'd have 2 houses burned down? You got to worry that he doesn't have another jumping the start like he did in the feature race.
Reminds me of an old story of an airplane flying through a house.
Well, I think World According to Garp, I believe.
You got that, Soup. Okay.
All right, well, the practice session is done. We cannot get to the grid this time early because there is no qualifying, so we have to wait. So watch Sean and I hustle through these 2 at a time so that we get our GSRC grid bonus. And we're waiting for it to populate on my... There it is, Manuel Hoyer on Saradov on the front row. Sean?
All right, Soup. Yes, we got it. Row 2, Silvio Hurt, Daniel Morris.
Lawrence Sudden Strike to right, and Urkel Lindstrom.
Row 4, Knut Martinson and Adam Tierney.
Evan Imre and Patrick Kessler make up row 5.
Row 6, Ty McLeod and Eric Andre.
The Baker's dozen spot, Kerry Nold and Phil Reed next to him.
Jean-Francois Godin and Christopher Holstein, row 8.
Christian Koch and Josh Thompson, 17 and 18th.
Michael Mittner and Peter Berryman, row 10.
And then the winner of the feature race, Peter Berryman, 20. They fooled me there. Sorry, Daniel Barrero in the 21st position, and Darren the Magic One partner in 22nd.
Row 12, Andy the Milkman Cowie and Lee Robinson.
Scott Newton and Chris Burgess, 25th and 26th.
And row 14, Jeroen de Cortel and Little Stevie Chambers.
Little Stevie Chambers, my apologies for calling you an idiot and a nincompoop, but it was kind of funny. Right now, the engines start to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Manuel Hoyer leading them down into Eau Rouge and now through Réunion. Back behind, pretty well. It starts to get double filed back there a little bit. Martinson and Emre going at it.
We got a car off. Oh boy, that was a hard shunt for Michael Mittner.
Yeah, one of the big names.
He lost it.
Then going 3 wide in the back, and now I'm watching the field as they come down where I thought it would happen. 2 wide. They go 2 by 2. So far, so good. 3 wide through there, 2 wide through there. They negotiated it. Now they do the last one through Malmedy through 6. I think it's okay. They head down into Rivage. The field goes around and looking good. Proving the commentator wrong.
Scott Newton got pushed off at Rivage. Soup Silvio Hurt started from the pit.
That's what threw me off there. That's why I was going to give the leader the wrong part there. Oh, there's a car off. It's in the grass. It was somebody up front. If I can scroll back to it.
I got it.
It was McLeod. McLeod falls all the way back to the deck. Another driver off into the sand. Kerry Nolden in that light blue machine. Oh, Nolden gets into it then with De Cortel as they go by. And Cortel is all into the wall. The car was damaged. Potter with problems.
Things absolutely crazy right now, Soup.
Nolden still out there racing in 24th. He's fallen behind Chambers and Newton. We're looking up front now, I believe. There we go. It is still Manuel Hoyer. Yep. De Rijk got tipped by Saradov, we believe, at first glance.
My word, absolute chaos coming out of the bus stop. Bunch of cars. Phil Reed, Kessler, Peter Berryman making his way up already 7 spots.
Oh my goodness. As they work through La Source, they manage that. I'm trying to give you a rundown of what's... Oh, here's a car coming into the pits. It's Urkel Lindstrom. He came in from about 10th position. He must have picked up some damage somewhere. Let's go all the way. Let's go to 7th right now. 6th, this is Emery. I think we're going to have 3 wide. Emery on the inside in the yellow car. The car in the middle is De Rijk. The car on the outside is Andre. And he's going to get the best of it. Move him up to 6th position. That was a twofer. If he can close the door, no fighting back. This is De Rijk. De Rijk won't have anything for that one, so move Andre. Oh, De Rijk says, hang on, Soup. I got it, as they continue to fight through 6. Now Andre able to close the door, but the fighting goes on behind them. Emery and the yellow car being challenged. That's Koch kind of the Reed now. Reed and Koch side by side.
Soup, you know who's right behind them? Peter
Look at
Berryman.
That. Berryman, the last car in the in that hornet's nest. We'll stay on this a minute. There, Barry gets 1. They settle down. They go single file. Andre was finally able to get the pass made on De Rijk. Emre, Koch behind them. Berryman then gets around. He's Kessler, and here comes Thompson back in. Remember, we saw Thompson in that feature race.
Wow, Kerry Nolden back here made a bold move on Andy Cowie. Nolden up to 18th. He's recovering, Soup.
Up in front, they are single file. I'll just read them off to you. Hoyer, Morris, Tierney, Martinson, and Dove in 5th. The action starts back in 6th. They are side by side again. This is one more time. Sudden strike to right, fighting back. There is no room for the yellow car of Emre to get through. They are punching a huge hole. Koch trying to see if he can get into the mix as well. You don't want to make it 3 wide as they work down into the bus stop. 2 by 2 by 1 by 1 by 1 as they go through there. The driver with the best drive is off the inside. Making a move is Reed. Now they head down into the right-hand hairpin. That is La Source. Oh, going off is Andre. He might have got a little bit of help.
Oh boy, Lawrence DeRike with trouble, Soup.
I think that was after the help that he gave. Yeah. No, let me apologize. I don't believe there was any help there. But boy, he comes around and he gets right into it. Yeah, into Emre.
Now DeRike, he spins by himself, but there was no contact between him and the car that was outside, and that was all.
And now Andre has looped it as he was going through Radion. Boy, and you want to take a wide line if we get a chance one more time. A great would be on board with Lee Robinson, as Lee Robinson had to take. You'll see him go by on the right-hand side.
Trouble out of Malmedy. Boy, big trouble there. I'm trying to pick up his Christian Koch. They were 3 wide in the lagoon.
Find this one, yeah. This is Koch was right. He got into it with Josh Thompson.
Oh, Koch gets hit by Jean-Francois Godin here at the end. Watch it as they all try to go through.
Thompson in the blue car then. Ah, man, goodness. Was that Godin that
that was Godin. Just T-bones him right there. Wow, wow, wow. Big trouble for a lot of our big finishers. From
so now we are back live again. Sarah Dove continuing now. She has moved up to 4th with some of the issues going on in front of her. Let's say we didn't miss anything. It's Tierney, Morris, and Hoyer. Martinson has had issues. Martinson has fallen back. So Sarah Dove has got Knut Martinson. He's back to 5th. Now let's go back to 6th. This is Reed, and here he comes.
Oh, Berryman taking the hard way around here out of Blanchimont. Gonna get positioned, though, on Phil Reed.
Oh, my goodness. 6th spot for the Berryman. With 18 minutes of racing to go.
He started 20th, Sue.
We talked about Thompson getting into it there with Koch. Thompson's machine looks okay. He's back in 8th position, right there behind Reed. You can see them in line. Thompson in the light blue machine. Kessler in 9th. But Sean Nolden in 11th. A lot of the big names couldn't make it.
Nope. They couldn't make it through the trouble back there, unfortunately.
Mittner gone. Koch has fallen all the way back to 19th spot.
Jean-Francois Godin is in the pit now, finally.
We knew there'd be a few.
Sarah Dove, Soup just got passed by Knut Martinson.
Sean, we talk about it seems like almost every race, but the racing gods put Martinson and Dove together. They are at it again. They could have their own series, this little match racing between Martinson and Dove. It would be a good show.
Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe Khaleesi and John Stowe get their own series, maybe? Little Sarah Dove and Knut Martinson.
One is the Mother of Dragons, the other one's called Little Bird, and she's out there racing right behind Knut Martinson right now. This is a battle for 5th.
I think there's a correlation. I mean, it is kind of in the bird, the bird family.
Uh-oh. Our leader, Manuel Hoyer.
Oh, boy.
Submitted for your approval. I think he has gone to the Twilight Zone. I do not believe it was for incidents. I think it must have been a connection problem.
I think it's exactly what might have happened, Soup. I'm not seeing a disconnect yet.
Can he come back? don't go to the light, Manuel. Stay away from the light.
Exactly. Oh, that's going to move Daniel Morris up into the lead.
Berryman challenged by Reed. Let's go back. Reed is pesky right now. Reed has a great run out of the bus stop. He's got a chance here as he's going to look to the, if he has room, look at the defensive line from Berryman. Boy, Berryman taking defensive line. That alone is a victory. If you can make Peter have to go defensive. Now let's see what kind of run they can get out of LaSource. Not going to happen. Thompson back there watching the whole thing. So that moves all the drivers up in front of them, up a spot. Makes our leader now the Red Devil driver of Daniel Morris. Hey, Daniel, congratulations. You are 1.5 seconds ahead of Adam Tierney. But if you're talking Tierney, I think it's really going to happen from Berryman, who's going to put down some of his own form of justice right now. But they are in a battle side by side. My goodness, look at what Reed is doing. Berryman actually got a little bit loose there. Reed giving Peter everything he could ask for.
I think he was inspecting the exhaust system on that Renault. But Berryman pulls off that pass down in the bus stop suit.
This is good news for the guys in front like Morris and Tierney and Martinson. Our timing and scoring is off 1 notch right now. Somebody must have taken a tow. Berryman in 5th.
Lee Robinson
took a tow. That's too bad for Lee. We look now at Scott Newton in a battle for 13th. He's racing there with Daniel Barrero and Andy Cowie. Barrero, the driver who blinked away at the end, right? Wasn't that Barrero that was fighting with Hoyer to stay on the lead lap?
Yes, it was.
Well, he's up to 12th. Points pay down to 16th here, so these guys are all racing for points right now.
And now Manuel Hoyer is blinked out. So is that karma? What is that?
Oh.
Just... oh, poor Manuel. I hate to see that he has officially disconnected. Sarah Dove still fighting with Knut Martinson up here. Soup into the bus stop, side by side. Oh, sneaking in there. Watch out, Sarah. It's Peter Berryman.
I don't know if he was sneaking or not. He took that in hotter than Elle McPherson with a fever. My goodness, he brought that in. Now, Sarah Dove trying to play defense as they work through LaSource. Berryman's going to try to get the drive off the outside. I expect him to be able to get the power down a little faster than Sarah. And he does move him up to, I believe, 4th. This should all time up. There we go. And now a battle going on behind. Trying to squeeze in there is Phil Reed. Oh, and Sarah, I wonder if Sarah's going to get a slowdown for that one.
Yeah, they both will.
I think they both, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah's starting to slow down now, actually.
Thompson goes by.
Phil Reed also gets by there.
Waiting for Reed to serve his. Maybe he got away with it. Yeah, it was on the outside. Maybe we're okay. So, Sarah Dove now falls back to 7th. She's going into the clutches of Kessler, Holstein, and Nolden. That'll be fun to watch. But up front, is it the day for the double? Morris out in front by 1.5 seconds on Tierney.
Ooh, just found another good one, Soup. Ty McLeod having a good battle with Scott Newton. Ty McLeod had taken the spot from Scott. Scott now getting it back here in Rivage. And it's Chris Burgess right there with him. I'm sorry, no, my bad. Stevie Chambers.
They get that sorted out.
Yeah, Stevie taking advantage of that, getting a position there.
Let's go up to 3rd right now. Knut Martinson, he's got a mirror full of 8,000 I rating behind him. That is Peter Berryman. Knut doing a pretty good job of holding them off. Berryman cannot wait because he's got Phil Reed back there. So here comes Berryman 1. Now let's see if Knut is going to try to hang on here. Reed tucks back in behind Knut to get a little bit more of a draft. That gets him a run. And now Berryman pulls over in front of Knut to break the draft with Reed. Reed now looking for a way around as they head down into the bus stop. It's a game of chicken. Reed really late to the braking, but he was able to stay off the left rear of Berryman. They get that negotiated through. Berryman in 3rd now, 3.2 seconds behind Tierney. Thompson gets around Martinson. Tierney 3 seconds up on the big names that are coming. Daniel Morris 1 second more in front. Sarah Dove.
She just couldn't catch it. Got off into the grass. You're going to see it here coming down the hill.
I think she did her best. She didn't want to get too close to Kessler. When she tried to give Kessler a little more room, the car got loose on her.
Well, she either reacted or it was a bit of a netcode bump, Soup. One or the other. Hard to tell, but what a tough break for Sarah there. Was having a really, really good run. Worked well with the traffic, and that's going to end it for her.
Well, it is daytime, but Spa is dark and full of terror.
Yes, sir. It can be.
All right. Let's give you an interval from second to third. Adam Tierney, 2.8 seconds on Peter Berriman. Berriman looking to do the double. He's lost Phil Reed, who's now about a second and a half behind. Reed's new issue will not be passing Berriman, but seeing if he can stay ahead of Josh Thompson, who's beginning to close in on fourth position. Morris now losing time to Tierney. Maybe Tierney thinks the best defense on Berriman is a good offense if he can get around Morris, put a little bit of a cushion between him and the Berriman.
Yeah, it just comes down to time, Soup, and Berriman's a second faster than Daniel Morris, at least on that last lap, but even on average, about 3/4 of a second faster. I just think it's not a matter of if, but when here at this point. Josh Thompson making a move.
Gets that done in the bus stop on Phil Reed. Reed back to fifth. Thompson up to fourth. The interval now between Tierney and Berriman is just over 2 seconds. I think the real interest here is Morris. I think Tierney has something for Morris now. They work through Rouge, through Redion. I think the run that blue car is going to get, this is all done. This is over. Pass for the lead, but it starts to stall as they go side by side. We'll see if that blue car of Tierney can finish the job. He starts to inch away, waiting for his spotter to say clear. Clear. Tierney, your new leader.
Wow, and Patrick Kessler back here finally gets the position away from Kerry Nolan. Kerry Nolan now going back at it down in the Lacombe. Kessler going to hang on so far. Soup, these two fighting hard right now, both up several spots. Nolan goes to the outside here in Rivage.
We'll look at that battle for seventh position.
Ooh.
There's
Kerry has a bit of a run there out of the left-hander. And he's going to try it. You got to be so careful with the car. Just sliding.
I love this. Our director's gone on board. We can stay on this. Nothing going on up front. We can stay on this for a while. Look at this. Look at the pass. Look at our director pan back. And now he's got to pan sideways. Can he get the pass made? Oh, let's give Kerry Nolan the spot. Meanwhile, the clock cannot tick fast enough for Adam Tierney. He is our leader. He's starting to distance himself on Daniel Morris. Thompson and Reed. Let's go back. We will skip over where Berriman is. Look side by side, Thompson and Reed as they go down into the bus stop one more time. Reed backs out. The man I skipped over is Peter Berriman. He is 1.6 seconds behind Morris. 1.6 seconds. It's the interval at the line. I'll give you the actual interval right here as they cross the line. We can give you that in perfect iRating timing and scoring. From Morris to Berriman, how about 2.0? 2 seconds with 6.5 minutes of racing to go. Nolden has had an issue.
Oh, yeah. Big trouble for him out of La Source. I think we got the replay of that here. Let's look at it real quick. Did he get any help?
Nope.
Nope, just lost it. Just too much on the exit, so easy. He gets tipped, though.
Got a little
Gets
help from
tipped there
Kessler.
at the
Yeah,
end.
finishing the spin.
Yeah, and it brings damage to Carey's rear wing. After that contact, that's going to be tough to finish this out with that damage on the wing.
There we go. So he has dropped down into 9th position. Meanwhile, up front, Daniel Morris says, Soup, don't give up on me yet, as he has fought that Red Devil car back up right behind Tierney now. Lost a little bit of time there. Now they work through 10. It is 0.8 of a second from Morris back to Berryman. We get to the point where doing it in time is not really as accurate as doing it in car lengths. Tierney up in front. 5 minutes and 15 seconds left of racing to go. What's that going to be, Sean? Looks like probably maybe two laps?
2 laps across the line, yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to, with apologies to the drivers that are farther back in the field, we're going to put most of our attention here for these final 5 minutes up in front. This is Tierney ahead of Morris. They go through Blanchimont. Now, watch Morris get in the tow. He's got to be careful not to force the issue and slow both of them down and make the job easier for Berryman. The crowd is upset by the way things are happening. Morris able to fend off Tierney. I'm sorry, Tierney able to fend off Morris right now as they head down into La Source. Now a pass for second. Morris. Boy, people are very upset with this as Berryman makes the move here.
Berryman is on it. But man, I'll tell you what, he's got to get around. He's got to get around, and man, can he pull it off? I don't know. This is a good one, Soup. Berryman right there in the Lacoon, Adam Almany, trying to hang on to it.
Looking back,
Holstein over to Holstein takes over Knut Martinson up to P6.
Look at that. Meanwhile, up front, Tierney able to hold off Berryman right now. Morris sticking with him. As they work their way down into 11th. Go ahead, Sean. What do you see?
Oh man, I see Tierney just hanging on here. They're trying to get to the white flag. Peter Berryman putting on a lot of pressure. Just a little bit more pressure every 100 feet. He seems to get a little bit closer and a little bit closer, and now he's certainly in the tow. This nice long trip here out of Paul Frere down through turn 15. They'll scream through Blanchimont.
I think this is the spot now. Look at the run that he has. What kind of line is Tierney going to take? Boy, it's really a sitting duck here. He's going to have to stay to the right side. That's probably the best chance. Now he's going to know. Now it's a game of chicken. Who can break later? Boy, it's going to be hard to outbreak Berryman, but look at this. He's going to get a good drive. That's the price you pay. If you can take that inside line into the bus stop, you get the good drive off, and he's able to fend him off. He only needs to do that one more time, Sean.
Nice job, Adam Tierney. Daniel Morris has kind of gotten himself back in this. And wow, loses a little bit there out of La Source. They're coming down the hill. Tierney hanging on. Berryman looks to the inside position here.
No defense here. They tried to go too wide. They negotiated. Oh, wait a minute. That could be a slowdown penalty for the leader. That's going to make his job really hard. The blue car of Tierney gets the lead. Berryman gets passed by Morris. Berryman trying to serve that slowdown penalty as fast as he can and still have a chance to get up to Tierney. Don't know. It could be all she wrote. The battle now might be between Tierney and Morris. As they went through Rouge and Radion there, it slowed them both down. That's going to let Morris back into the hunt. Where is Berriman? Berriman has fallen back into the clutches of Josh Thompson. Thompson now with a chance to a podium if he can get around Berriman. Meanwhile, up in front, Tierney and Morris, they are about 4 car lengths back. They work through 5. Now they go down into Puhan. This is the sweeping left-hander. Tierney beginning to pull away now. Boy, it looked like it was all over. The writing was on the wall, but no. Before the period was put on, there was a slowdown penalty, and Adam Tierney writes his own story right now as he works through 11 down into 12. I think he's in good position as Morris is falling back now about 0.7 of a second. Meanwhile, Berriman has recovered. He's got Morris. He should be able to get him. He's got a chance. Don't know if there's going to be enough time to get to Tierney right now. Thompson has fallen off in 4th. It doesn't look like he's going to have anything for Barry. The battle for 2nd. Morris, as they head down through Boschemont, this is going to be all over right now. Look at the run from Berriman. He gets that. Now his skinny pedal all the way down to the floor. He is 0.8 of a second behind Tierney. Adam Tierney just has to negotiate the bus stop, and then LaSource. Here he comes, though. Berriman is now within sight. Can he get there? Can this be the greatest charge to a win since Pickett's charge at Gettysburg? I don't think so. Tierney now. That didn't go so well for those Civil War historians. Here they go. They work through LaSource. Tierney.
Morris
is going to get the win.
Morris is going to have the podium taken away by Josh Thompson.
Thompson able to nip Morris back there for 3rd.
Wow, Morris had it. Boy, Morris had that podium, but let's look at this. Let's look at this replay here with the Milkman Soup.
Look here at Cowie had an issue. Oh, look at Nolden got loose in front of the Milkman. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. And
Yeah.
that was the incident cap for both of them. Well, that was exciting. Let me apologize, first of all, to all the European drivers not up on their U.S. Civil War history. Sometimes my references are a little obscure. Go ahead and Google Pickett's charge. But your winner of the sprint race is Adam Tierney. Before we run down the complete finishing order, we'll take a short break. We will be back to run down the order, talk to some of the drivers, and put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship Round 10 from Spa. The feature race is in the book, the sprint race is in the book. Let's run down your finishing order of that 25-minute sprint that just took place. My goodness, he was side by side with Peter Berryman going through Radillon, through Eau Rouge. Berryman picked up the slowdown penalty, and that let Adam Tierney get his first win of the season. For Peter Berryman, his attempt at the double was so close, but it didn't work out as he has to settle for second. My goodness, though, he fought back at the end. Almost got him going into La Source. Josh Thompson and Daniel Morris go third and fourth. Phil Reed settles for fifth. Rounding out the back half of your top 10, Christoph Holstein, Knut Martinson, Ty McLeod, Patrick Kessler, and hey, how about this? Top 10 for Daniel Barrero. Sean?
All right, yeah, things certainly worked out better for him in the sprint race. Go down to 11th, Little Stevie Chambers up 17 spots. Will finish 11th, Chris Burgess up 14 spots. Soup, he finishes 12th. Evan Emre, 13th. 14th, John Francois Godin. He did not have a lot of luck today. Christian Koch, 15th. Andy, the Milkman Cowie, 16th. Kerry Nolden, 17th. Scott Newton, Soup, is going to finish 18th. Darren Potter, 19th. And 20th, Little Sarah Dove.
In the blackjack position, Lord and Suddenstike to right. Double duck spot goes to Lee Robinson. Those both drivers had trouble 4 and 5 laps down. Manuel Hoyer, oh my goodness, he was out in front. He blinks away. Urka Lindstrom. Enric Andre Silvio hurt. Then your final two drivers in 27th and 28th, Michael Mittner and Jeroen de Quartel. All right, as we go here, we have some interviews coming up. Before we go there, Sean, this is where I get in trouble, me with my measly 1,600 I rating, and I start to question the racecraft of somebody with an 8,000 I rating. But I just have to wonder if maybe Peter Berryman might have been able to wait a little bit, not needing to go too wide through Eau Rouge and to get that pass made on Adam Tierney.
Listen, I think that's a pretty easy to answer. I think he had plenty of track left to do it. But hey, listen, that's where he decided to make his move.
Right.
We saw people making that move out of Radillon all day. To complete the pass up the Kemmel Straight, and you know what? Maybe he just blinked a little bit early right there, and of course he runs off and it costs him. But a podium nonetheless. And Soup, I think we've got you know what? I didn't see any drivers up there a moment ago, and now we've got a whole bunch of them sitting up there ready for an interview.
I think we got the guy who finished third here. If this is Josh Thompson coming in, and he had a pretty good race in the feature race. Sean, go ahead and talk to Josh.
Josh, what a move there at the end to get by Morris and get this podium. Congratulations.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to get another podium after how strong the first race was. And I knew, because I was following Pete, we were catching at quite a good rate. And when they all started battling on the last lap, I was like, this is my chance. Tried to do it up the inside to the bus stop, but I knew he'd cover the inside straight away, so I just teed it up there. Did a nice wide on the cut. Then I made him go really defensive into La Source for the last corner. So he was really close up. So I knew he would end up either going straight on or being very slow on the exit. So when he started to go wide, backed off, slotted it under, and managed to get the drive on the corner, which is good. So lucky enough, managed to hold it then over the line.
Man, what a race today at Spa for you. I mean, both races, a great finish, big points today. Are you a little tired right now? Maybe a little bit exhausted? That was a lot of work, man.
I really enjoy it. I love this track, and I've always gone quite well around here. A little bit because I did an official race just before. That was why I was late coming to qualifying. So I was in an official race, jumped out of that, jumped into the feature, and then jumped into the sprint. So I've done quite a bit back to back. But yeah, overall, it was it's been a good day for it. It's just a shame that Oscar's not doing the series anymore, so it's basically, it looks like it's just going to me unless because I'm in talks with someone to get another teammate to replace it for the last 2 rounds. So I don't know yet, but it's a shame because the setup felt really good, and I think he'd have done even better than me, to be honest.
So how does Josh Thompson finish his day after a podium finish here at Spa? What's next, buddy?
Sleep.
Okay.
Chilling out a bit of sleep because I'm absolutely ruined.
Hey, let me ask a question real quick, Josh. Let's go back to the feature race real quick. You were in that battle with the big boys there. You certainly included Berryman and Mittner. We felt that when you passed Mittner for second, you guys were starting to fight and you lost touch with Berriman, did you kind of feel that, we're in trouble now?
To be honest, I knew straight away the only reason why we're keeping with him was because of the toe. Because I've raced with him, been in the same team with him, raced against him. I know he's a good half a second faster than most people I've raced him with him against. So he always, as soon as you drop out the toe, it's been anywhere I've raced him, he's always pulled away as soon as out the toe. And that's what I've kind of learnt with people like him. So I just knew having to work with Mittner to get up to him. But the gap was there. It stayed about like 1 second most of the race. But then in the pit stops, we all came out 3 seconds behind.
Oh, let's talk about that. I heard you mention, you said something like, "Oh, come on," or "give me a break" or something. Was that about the pit stop time of Berriman when you went in together and came out about 4 seconds back of him?
Yeah, I was like, cause I went for the right amount of fuel, went for everything, and I just saw him go. I came out of the pits, I was like, it's 3.8 seconds. Yeah. Came across the start line. As I came up a route, seeing like 3 people come out, I was like, they cannot have leapfrogged me in the pit stops. It's like, it's happened so many times this season. It's happened, I think, 4 times in the last 6 races I've done. So
get the pit crew into bed early. They're off having some.
That's what I said. I said Pete's been paying it. I said Pete's been paying his pit crew overtime.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, congratulations. Good points day for you. We'll see you down the road.
All right. See you later, guys.
All right. Cheers, Josh. Soup, certainly he was pretty excited. Why don't we talk to Phil Reed next? He finished 5th.
Go ahead, Sean. You got him.
Phil, great run, buddy. How you feeling right now? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Man, 5th place. Does it feel like a podium? I mean, that was a pretty eventful sprint race.
Yeah, no, it's a good race. It kind of does and it doesn't at the same time. I feel like when I got to a point when I got into 5th, like when I initially hit that 5th position, I was like, right, okay, this is probably it now. There's quite a large gap to the guys ahead. So I thought, right, I'll just start fighting everyone around me because that'll be fun. Which it was. But at the same time, I realised about after 3 or 4 laps of doing that actually, if we'd have worked together, we possibly could have caught that front group and actually got maybe actually got a podium from that. So yeah, it's one of those ones. It's a good race, as I say. I started quite far down. I don't usually have particularly good luck in the sprints, especially not at Spa. So good, yeah, and a pretty decent first race as well. Possibly should have been at least 1 position higher up, but possibly 2. But then you never know. That might have hurt me in the sprint race.
Phil, I can't read my notes here. Was it Holstein you were having that battle with in the feature race going back and forth?
Yeah, we were battling for 5th. Battling for 5th, and then we were side by side coming into the bus stop on the final lap. I was quite a bit far ahead, but then I just broke way too late, and for the first time in I don't know how long, a long time, I actually locked the rears going in and spun completely off. I was like, oh, this is unusual. But I didn't hit the wall and break my car, and I was able to maintain 7th after that, so that's good stuff.
Phil, have you played the new Sonic game?
Well, we actually funny, and Kerry mentioned that we should do a Sonic Mania tribute livery with the 8-bit theme, which you could do. I think I'd like that, yeah. And yeah, so that would be cool. Also, I'd like to say, I don't know if you were going to ask me another question, but I was going to say Adam would like to be here, but you know, race winner, first time, but he's too scared. Doesn't want to do an interview. He's
a bit of a shy one. Huh?
I'm ousting him live.
Or is he off to the pub? You can be honest. If he's off to the pub,
He could be honest, cool. But I mean, well, I suppose he is old enough now. He's not far past that age actually. But yeah, no. In fairness though, I just want to congratulate him. You know, it's good stuff. He had to hold off a lot of pressure. He knows Peter's coming, and Peter's quick, so he had to keep it all together to get the win. He had to, did good. He capitalised on the fact that Peter couldn't quite get it, and I think he had to slow down on the last lap as well, which is exactly what I needed. And then he had the pressure from Daniel as well. You know, it's not easy, as I think many people have proved in the past. So good stuff from him.
Phil, I got to ask you a question. Since my wife and I did London about 10 years ago, and we did have some trouble. Well, first of all, Europeans do not like to give out ice. Is beer actually warm? We were able to find cold beer. Is it warm? Is that the case over there?
I think you can find like ales and beers slightly warmer, typically, but lagers are usually come out cold.
Okay, so good. All right, because we were worried. That's one of the things we first thing we checked with our travel agent. Can I get cold beer? She said no problem. So all right, hey, congratulations on the good performance today.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
And cheers to him, Soup.
Sean, I like to learn. I like to talk to these drivers, but I also like to educate myself as well. So. Is there anyone else we're talking to there?
Christoph Holstein's made it.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Christoph, let's go right back to the feature race. Let's put the sprint race behind us for a minute. My goodness, you were in a battle with Phil Reed there that seemed like you guys were swapping spots. We couldn't cover them all, the whole battle, and then he finally nipped you there at the end, I think.
That was absolutely brilliant. I think in the first place it was a little bit of a strategic game going on because we wanted to hold off Godin and the guys behind, catching. And I think it was literally after the pit stops, I think. I think we were even side by side out of the pits, I think, briefly. After that, it developed really into a battle. And I actually didn't realize once we came into the bus stop that he actually snatched the brakes and went towards the wall on the left-hand side. So I still, thought we were side by side into there. So I left room on the second apex. But a little bit unfortunate that we couldn't, quite complete a battle as it should have. But very, very happy with both races today, solid points, and congratulations to my teammate for winning his first ever race.
Yes, that's a nice one. 16th to 6th for you. That was a good charge through there for your team.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit scary on one or the other occasion. I was a little bit lucky as well. I think there was an incident between, I think it was Koch and someone else, which I was pretty close to getting caught up in. But apart from that, it was worked my way through the field pretty nicely. And in the end, also that battle with Knut Martinsen was pretty intense as well. Side by side out of La Source there was really, really close.
Yep, so a great points day for your team for Formula Mini. So congratulations and good luck to you in the final two races of the season.
Thank you very much.
Christoph Holstein. Good points day for him today. Sean, where do we stand now?
Let's talk to Scott Newton real quick. Scott, congratulations. Talk to us about this race. Boy, the sprint was a blast.
Yeah, definitely. The sprint was a blast. Unfortunately, we got a bit of damage running off Rivage on lap number 1. Just avoiding some other secondary contact from other drivers. But unfortunately had damage through that and on the floor. But was fighting Barrero throughout the middle part of the race, and then unfortunately got the final incident point on the second last corner of the race, fighting with Chambers. It was a great battle from both of those drivers throughout the race, so congrats to them.
So you were that guy? You were that guy
yes,
that got
unfortunately, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Scott.
Yeah, it would have been possibly on for a couple of points to supplement the big haul that Pete got today, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Feature race was up into the back end of the top 5 on lap 3 through people going off track and all that sort of thing, but managed to lose the back end going into the bus stop and then park it on the curb on the outside, and the car wouldn't move. So luckily I got it into gear and got from there. But further damage put me out of the race and obviously put me back for the sprint. So yeah, definitely not what I would have hoped for this week. But looking at Kota next week, not a track that I particularly enjoy, but we'll see what we can do from there.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, we will see. Scott, another quick question for you. Do you eat breakfast before these events start, or are you getting ready to have breakfast when we get done here?
When we get done. So I'm starting right now. Currently, at the moment, 20 to 6 in the morning. So just goes to show how early these races are for the oceanic regions. But but when the races are as good as these, it's worth getting up for. So it's credit to the organisers, and it'll make me stay for a long time. So it should be good.
A good way to start your Saturday. Well, hey, thanks for spending some time with us, Scott. We will see you next week at Kota, buddy.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers for that, Sean.
All right, and cheers to Scott Newton. Soup. Oof, what a run today, buddy.
Scott Newton got a Vegemite omelet coming his way. We'd like to thank everyone at Apex Online Racing for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 League and to all the members who supported this broadcast. We know I have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on our broadcast. The original music you've heard today is thanks to Casey Lalonde and Eric Ekholm. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
And Soup, the AOR returns next week, Friday, August 25th, for the penultimate round of the season from Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. Can't wait to get there, buddy. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action, and we hope you join us for more information about GSRC. Your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also find us on social media, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Facebook. Go over there and type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word. You'll find us, I promise.
And now, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, and my goodness, I don't know how he puts up with us each race, and our camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, if they let us back, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.